Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. I'm Mystica Venice and welcome to my channel. This is your December reading, and I'm shooting this in end of November, and I put up my Christmas display here to get us into the spirit. I'd like to start by calling and clearing the energy. And then I'll call in our guides. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, please be here now to give Taurus divine messages for their highest good for December 2025. We thank you and we welcome you into this space. I'm going to start by pulling a couple of these oracle cards. It says sacred or enchanted forest, and we'll see what themes are coming up for you this month. It is raining, so if you hear that, the cards are like extra loud when it's raining. So, alright, so what do you have for Taurus? What's going on for Taurus? What's coming up for Taurus? What does Taurus most need to know for the month of December? Happiness. This is the bluebird spirit. And the bluebird sings a song when it's happy. And this is, there's like a cherry blossom tree. Cherry trees blossom in the springtime, so that might be notable. There's also a unicorn here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little unicorn down here grazing. What else? We'll see how these tie into your reading as we get into it. What other themes are coming up for Taurus for December 2025? Spirit. Ooh, that one did. Truth, the raven spirit. I think this talks about living in your truth, like, you know, living in a way that you feel called to do so, that feels right, that feels like you are living in your truth, like you're not, you know, working in a place where you don't believe morally in what you're doing anymore. That is in the past. Like, this new version of you, like, can really only do what you believe in, and that's why you are living in your truth. And the raven also speaks of, like, deep knowledge. In this case, he's sort of like her guide, guiding her to the truth. There's also a lot of, like, fog in here, which says to me that, like, finding your truth, like, in a place of mystery, like, it's not all, it's not clear yet, but you are finding this truth this month. You also may literally, because it's December and spending time with family, maybe finding out some truth, or telling somebody else what's true with you. You did get wisdom, which I was feeling that with the raven spirit. This is owl wisdom. So, you know, you're not just living in your truth, but you are, like, becoming wise in the things that you are, in the areas of your life that you're developing. You're seeing things with, like, new eyes, like you've grown a lot. Oh, and you've got growth. That was the last one, the toadstools. You've grown so much that, like, what you've learned about truth, it's turned into, you know, wisdom. And there is also so much wisdom in, like, just actually, like, believing in ourselves and, like, owning it. And this is making you happy. So let's get into the tarot and see what the tarot has to say about it. Alright. What is going on with Taurus? We got the well. Ace of Swords. Woo. The artist. Nice. Anything else, Spirit? Oh, okay. Let's take a look at these. So by going deep within to the truth of like going deep within yourself to finding like to spend time with yourself and actually like finding out the things that you really believe in, and really like going to the depths of like your own emotional levels. It's like bringing you this clarity, like where it was reversed, so where you were like unsure before perhaps, or you are perfectly clear that like what it is that you stand for, what it is that you want, and where it is that you're going. You are like true to your belief system, and that's coming through very, very strongly. A clarity of mind, where you were once confused, like you're not anymore. Because like exactly how you feel about this situation, because you spent the time to figure it out. You haven't like avoided it. You haven't drowned your sorrows. You haven't, busied yourself up to not think about it. Like you were taking a direct look at what these deep things within you mean. And this is coming up for a lot of people, is that like having like dealt with some shadow work and looked at these dark parts of yourself that you may not have liked before or fully understood, and really like realizing why those parts of you are there, and why, as much as you fix yourself, some of these things are a part of you, and are like, you owe it to yourself to accept these parts of you, both dark and light, so that you can be like whole. And I think that's what this happiness is about. And it's actually, it's giving you a lot of creative inspiration with the artist. And you're inspired now. Sorry, I'm gonna cover his. You're inspired now because like your own mind. This particular artist, he's like dreaming stuff that's like way up in the clouds and castles and trees, but he's making it a reality by drawing it. So this is like almost like a wish fulfillment card, a dream come true. I want to clarify this well and Ace of Swords. Tell me more about this well and Ace of Swords. Ooh. Oh my goodness, you've got the Ace of Swords again. I kid you not. This is crazy. So like, you are clear-headed now. You are clear. You've gone, and you've like studied your mind, and you've gone to the deepest dark places of your mind, and you were able to come out of it intact with a clear knowledge, a clear vision. Like this has been successful. There you've got the laurel and the crown here. This has been successful, and you've been sorting out whatever it is that you've been confused about, parts of yourself. And now you've come to a place where you accept it, like you believe in yourself, and that is why you now have like a vision for something. Let's find out what that is. And also you have the sun reversed, and the sun talks about success and happiness and joy and harmony, and it is like, I would say, probably the best card in the whole deck. I mean, I might say that about a few cards, but this is definitely like the best you can achieve at. Like if happiness is your goal in a life of enjoyment, and yeah, so let's see. The artist, what is this creative vision that you have? Oh, so many. That's too many. So you have an idea for like a particular type of lifestyle, like the way that you see your life becoming someday. Like this is represents like your hopes and your dreams, your ideals of like you are wild dreaming up your perfect life at this time. You are like, what would it look like now that I'm not confused, now the wool's not being pulled over my eyes, you know, now that I can see clearly, like what would my perfect life look like? And you know, you're allowing yourself to dream this up. And it's a cause for celebration because it feels like in the past, you know, this feels new, this happiness. So it feels like you weren't doing that in the past, and that like now, like it's a huge cause for celebration. You know, a lot of this kind of like mental gymnastics with yourself can be very all encompassing, and leaves very little room for much else. Relationships, focusing on your job, you know, focusing on your life can be difficult when you are like going through the dark night of the soul, let's say. So to finally have, you know, this mental clarity, now you can like make goals, you know, make goals and like have dreams, because it's like now you allow yourself these things. You can focus on the future. You're not thinking about the past, you know, which is really nice too, especially during the holiday season. If you do have any like grief or around the holidays, like perhaps this is a time now that the 1111 card, Four of Wands, now is a time where you can like, you know, celebrate without also having the attached like grief that comes with the holidays. And like you are like even like making new traditions and like new plans. Like you're ready, you want to have it all. But let's see, but first, like you really have to close out this old chapter, you know, and see this new perspective. And the new perspective on the artist, you know, is kind of everything. You see these like designs here, like they look like some sort of like symbols. Like this person changed perspective and now they're reading like water codes. So it's like seeing something other people can't because you change your perspective on it. And it seems that only happens like, you know, like after you pack your bags and go, right? And so then you're in this happy time, or you're ushering in this happy period. So there were these two other cards. I'm trying to see where they fit in. So like the Ten of Pentacles, that could go with these here. Making plans for the future. You know, Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. I mean, this is like life achievements. This is kind of like what everybody wants, but it's like you now see that it could be possible for you, right? And that's making you happy, even though you still have to like close out a chapter. And maybe like to finally like walk away from these last things that are like closing out these, like saying no to the things that aren't working for you, like closing out these chapters of things that, you know, no longer represent you. And really like taking off the blindfolds. These two go together. Taking off the blindfolds and like, you know, now that you have hope and an idea and a dream, like now you're ready to leave these other things behind, because you realize that like these were the things that were holding you back. And like, even though like these things that you're leaving behind, they could be like friendships or people or a job, or a mindset, old ways of thinking, you become attached to it, so it's like hard to let go. But now that you see that you have the Sun, like these things are of little value to you anymore, and so it's easier to put these things down, these like self-imposed restrictions. Now that you see like a happy road for the future, like you don't need to do the things that are making you unhappy, like whether this like addiction or whether it's like a negative mindset towards people around you, or like just being like in a job that you hate or something like that, right? It's like you finally like see it differently. Like you don't need those things anymore because like you have a bright future. And so that is really, really amazing. You also had here, so like the future comes with hard work, right? Like it you don't just like all of a sudden like have these dreams and then get there. You still have to like work towards it and put in a lot of effort and like really like cut ties with the Six of Swords of the things that are not good for you anymore. Like you are leaving these choppy waters behind for calmer shores. So it's like committing to leaving either these negative like traits or habits or aspects behind, but really committing to it, you know. Like you've seen them differently. These things don't make you happy. You see it differently now, but you know, it's hard. It's the holidays. It's like, but you have to commit to it for this to work in the future. You know, and there's also like an ebb and flow. Like when you're like in the process of changing, you like start to change a little bit and you're like things are getting better, and then you're like, oh, you have like, you know, it's, let's say you're on a diet. You're on a diet and you're like, oh my gosh, I've like lost 10 pounds. I think I'm gonna have an ice cream sundae, right? And then so you're like, oh, I really like that ice cream sundae. You know, maybe I'll just have another one the next day, and then the third day, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're like, I didn't lose 10 pounds anymore. Now, you know, I just gained back 3. And, you know, you're kind of like, oh man, like, I don't want to sink back into that old pattern, you know. And so, like, it's really just like committing to this journey, committing to your future and this happy life, right? It's just making that commitment. Let's see if we can pull some little cards on that. Anything else to say? Six of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. Yeah. So the Six of Pentacles is about the scales of equity, and like there's like a balance in everything. So like you're leaving these hard times behind, and now you're wild dreaming of the future. And like even though it's been like you've been through a rough time and you're healing from that, but you know, like the universe notices this, and the scales are going to come back into balance, or they're going to start to, like, you're going to start to feel the change and like the wealth it brings. But you do also have to allow yourself like the ebb and flow to, like, you know, you're not going to be happy every day. You still like sometimes are going to have to spend time recuperating from recovering from this grief, right? Or these, you know, it's also time, this is December, so you're going to want to, you know, like it brings up a lot of things for people, and you're going to want to take that time out, even if you have to, like, you know, schedule in some days off, you know, during that time, like, you know, in advance that's a sad day for you, that, like, schedule it off. You don't have to work through that, you know, because the scales of equity are going to balance, and like ultimately all of this is stabilizing, beginning to stabilize your current reality. You know, like Pentacles are all about like practical energy and like house, home, like living situation, money, finance, career, and it's about like becoming like more stable, and that's when these get balanced. Like, you know, you're gonna start to be receiving more than you're outputting, you know, it's starting to balance out, right? You have been outputting a lot in the past, so it's starting to even out, and you're starting to feel it come back. There's even like an infinity symbol here in the energy flow of these coins going back and forth from person to person. So it's like there's some like movement here in like becoming more stable, and I think that has to do with, you know, this work that you're putting in on your health or in your career, just in your life, right? This is like a total life read for somebody. I want to pull a couple of these. I made these with 3x5 cards. They did get damaged, and so I made a new set recently. Just a couple weeks ago, I was meditating and I made a new set. So is there any messages in here for Taurus? Why does it keep doing that? I think it's just so rainy, so everything's humid here. Okay, what messages do we have coming in for Taurus? Spirit, can you tell me for Taurus? Baby steps, one foot in front of the other. Like healing isn't a sprint. You just keep going a little bit at the time, and it's easier in small bites or in baby steps. Heartwarming moments, like, yeah, like focus on like the smaller achievements, the smaller wins, and like those heartwarming moments are like the things that like help you to see this through, that like give you the insight that you can do this. You've got what it takes to get through whatever this mess is, and I mean it looks like you are, but just know that like when you have like those moments where you feel like you need to take a step back and like, oh, maybe I'm not as healed as I thought, just know that it happens in stages, and before you know it, you're going to be looking back and hardly recognize, you know, how you felt. Career and finance are coming in, right? Like, so as you're healing, you are like thinking about work or the success in work. Time to tend your garden. It's time to tend your garden. Like if there's things that you've been avoiding in your life, whether these are like certain relationships with people or you know, things are just like unraveling at the seams, it's time to really like make that commitment and tend to your garden. ESP, you might be connected with somebody, you know, and like you can like feel each other's thoughts, whether this is a family member, a friend, a partner, but or maybe you're just like extra intuitive and sensitive in past lives. So you may want to think about doing like a past life regression, or just even like doing like researching the Akashic records. I really have not studied it myself. I've not gotten a past life regression, but a lot of people find it really helpful, and there are people that do readings, personal readings, just on past lives. But what this is telling me with the Six of Pentacles here, like, it feels to me like the karmic injustices that may have done to you in a past life, you've like paid your karmic debt on that, and so now the scales are beginning to turn in your favor. I really like that. Let me pull another card on that. What are these heartwarming moments? What are these heartwarming moments for Taurus? What do they have to look forward to? What does Taurus have to look forward to in the month of December? Plans for the future. Making plans from the future, for the future, from the future. That was a Freudian slip. making plans from the future to fix what you have going on now. No, making plans for the future because now you're clear-headed, and now that you're not worried about something else, whatever was blocking you is unblocked, and so now you can make plans for the future, and that's what you have to look forward to. I mean, it's really, really exciting here. Any other heartwarming moments for Taurus? And this is like a really sweet time for this to happen too, you know, to turn inward during these dark, wintry nights when the veil is thin. Oh, okay. This is what you have to look forward to. You got the Emperor and the Page of Swords. So the Emperor is somebody that he controls his empire, right? Like he organizes and he, you know, organizes the troops and the way everything's gonna be for the empire. He is a benevolent leader and he is good and kind and fair. You know, obviously there's parts of the job that aren't so great, but in this case, yeah, you're organizing your empire, before everything was self, and now it's like you have an empire, like something that you're working on here because of the growth that you've had over the past year. And with the Page of Swords, this is like a new idea, a new mindset. You know, you have this like aha moment, and you have been studying and like growing, like doing the work, right? And so now you have like this faith in the universe. You see how in this card, this girl here, she's like walking the tightrope, but she has so much trust in the universe that she's not even looking. She's like, I know this is a good idea. I am going for it. You know, she's got these birds here that are cheering her along, reading the book, and like, so, you know, Taurus, this is what you have to look forward to. This, you know, new idea, this aha moment, these plans for the future. Like, you know, you're going to look back a year from now and you're literally going to be like, wow, I can't believe that was my life a year ago. Look how far I've come. This is really great for you. I'm very excited to see where this goes. Please leave a comment if this resonates for you and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will be back later this month with some energy reads. Thank you so much, Taurus. Have a wonderful night.